Hello. So I grew up at the Jersey Shore. Yes, that Jersey Shore. And I learned at a very young age what it felt like to get pummeled by waves over and over and over again. And I also learned how to get up. But it also taught me a really invaluable life lesson that if I didn't hide from the waves or avoid them and instead anticipated them and embraced them, I might just get the ride of my life. So I've had to embrace a couple of bends in my career path along the way. As a young person, I wanted nothing more than to be a veterinarian. But I realized I was way too emotional to handle seeing animals sick, injured, worse, abused every day. So I shifted gears, and I don't know why I thought being a doctor was going to be easier, but I soon realized that wasn't in the cards for me either, because blood made me faint. So long story short, I came out of college with a biology degree, and at that time, I kind of fell into the environmental profession, because unfortunately, at that time, there were a lot of industrial sites that needed cleaning up. So instead of a white lab coat and a stethoscope, I was wearing yellow Tyvek and an air purifying respirator. But the silver lining to that was that I learned what I was really passionate about. I wanted to prevent the environmental damage that I saw. I wanted to keep the environment healthy for people and the animals that I love so much. Now, I'd like to say that's what brought me to J&J, but actually, when I came out of graduate school, I wanted to be a policymaker. I envisioned myself in DC. But another unexpected learning along the way was that I realized I was in the very exact place I was meant to be the change agent that I wanted to be. I was in an organization that cared about healthy people on a healthy planet, just like me. Now, another unexpected source of inspiration for me is my kids. And one day, when I was driving my then 5-year-old son along a highway, I heard his little voice behind me say, "Mommy, does the smoke coming out of those tall sticks make God cough?" And I was about to explain that it wasn't smoke, it was really steam, but I realized that wasn't the point. That a 5-year-old had just made a very profound observation, that human health and environmental health are inextricably linked. Now, we know and we understand more and more about that link every day. The World Health Organization estimates that 1 in 4 premature deaths are due to environmental factors. The Lancet has said that while we have made great strides in human health, people are living longer than ever. The environmental degradation and challenges that we're facing threatens to undermine all that progress. And we also know that women are disproportionately impacted by environmental degradation. UN figures indicate that 80% of people who are displaced by climate change are women. Now, my children also are an unexpected source of how to collaborate. They've taught me a lot about collaboration. So this is what Legos looked like in my house. And for the longest time, I would try to organize the Legos back into their little sets. And they would always end up looking just like this again. So one day I asked my son, "What is the deal with the Legos? Why can't you keep them organized?" And he said, "Well, when they're organized in their little sets, I can only make what's on the box. When they're all in a big pile, I can make anything I want." So again, a child took me to school on literally thinking outside the box and how to break down silos. And how when we bring these unexpected pieces of the puzzle together, these unexpected, limitless possibilities present themselves. And this is why we look and seek for untraditional types of partnerships to help solve some of the environmental challenges that we're we're facing. And for example, organizations, one of the organizations we're partnering with is C40. And it's a coalition of 90 mayors from around the world who are committed to taking climate actions. But the way in which they want to do this is to connect those climate actions to air quality improvements in their cities, and then connect those air quality improvements to the health of their citizens. And the thinking there is that if we can connect those dots and make the connections between our own health and the health of our environment, we can make those connections, it'll inspire more people to care for the planet like our health depends on it, because it does. The scale of the problems, too, require unconventional solutions. There's a project called Drawdown Project, and it took all this information and all this data, and it ranked the solutions to climate change. And while renewable energy and protecting forests are incredibly important solutions, educating girls was in the top 10. So while women are disproportionately impacted by environmental degradation, they can also be a disproportionate part of the solution. So I'm going to put in a plug for our panel that we're hosting tomorrow morning, bright and early at 6 a.m. So join us for breakfast, and you'll hear from some amazing female leaders that are working at that intersection of human health and women's health in particular, and environmental health. So unexpected personal paths, unexpected partnerships, unexpected solutions, we're going to need them all. And when we embrace the unexpected, the possibilities are limitless. So keep an eye out for the next wave, and I hope when you see it, you embrace it, and you enjoy the ride. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Paulette. So I'm going to actually ask you two questions, if that's okay. The first one is the one I've been asking everybody about how you're going to use your power. Are you here for a couple more days, or are you?
Yes.
Okay. So what will you do in the next few days to use the power that you have here at Women Deliver?
So what I've been doing the past couple of days is keeping my mind and my ears open, learning a lot about what's going on in women's health, and looking for intersections with environmental health and the work that we're trying to advance.
Fantastic.
Potential new partners.
Great. And then my second question is, what can all of us do in terms of having the biggest impact on the issues of climate change and the environment? What's the one thing that if we all went home and did something, what would that one thing be?
I think the point is there's choices. Yep. There's no one thing everyone has to do, but there is something everybody can do. Yep. I can tell you that my then 5-year-old, who is now a 14-year-old, has sworn off eating meat. He is very passionate about the environment, no shock. And that was his choice, was to cut out meat in his diet.
Fantastic.
Very powerful.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much. Thank you, Paulette.